right, you guys, question number 20. Which ordered pair is in the inverse of the relation given by x squared y plus 5y equals 9? The first thing I did here is I solved for y, and then just put it in my graphing calculator, and you'll see why in just a second. So what I did was I factored out a y from x squared y plus 5y, so that left x squared plus 5 equals 9, and then I just divided 9 by x squared plus 5. Now the reason I did this is because I can graph this and I can get a table. Now if you remember, inverse functions are functions that if you took the y equals x line, these are functions that are reflective over that. So what that means is all of the x's are going to become the y's for the inverse function, and all of the y's are going to become the x's. In this case, the inverse is not actually a function, so you can't just graph the inverse and get the table, but what you can do is just graph the function, and you have here -2 and 1, -1, 1.5, 0, 1.8. And I'm just going to go through the answers on the paper and take a look. So question A on the paper says when x is 2, y is 1. So that is obviously not going to happen, because in this one it says x is 2 and y is 1. In the inverse, it's going to be x is 1 and y is 2. So that's not going to work. So let's look at -2, 1. -2, 1 is a point in this one. So again, that point on the inverse is going to be 1, -2. Actually, as a matter of fact, why don't I just flip this over here? So I'm going to make a table for the inverse. Okay, inverse of y is going to be just the opposite. So over here on the table that is online, x is -2, y is 1. So that means here it's going to be 1, -2. Then 1.5, -1, 1.8, 0, 1.5, 1, and then 1, 2. And I think the one that matches is 1, -2, which happens to be E. So number 20 is E on the test review. Okay, so let me know if you have any more questions about that. Let's clear this up. Let's go question 21 here. Which function is the inverse of the function f of x equals 3x minus 2? Okay, in this one, the first step is we change all of our y's to x's. So f of x obviously is our y, but we're going to change that to x equals 3y minus 2, and then we're going to solve this for y. Okay, so I'm going to add 2 to both sides. So 3y, I'm just going to flip these around. I like the variable I'm solving for to be on my left-hand side. I don't know, it's just the way my brain works, but I added 2 to both sides, which canceled it out and gave me x plus 2 on the other side. Then I just need to divide it by 3, right? Divide by 3, and that's actually my answer. So y equals x plus 2 divided by 3, or the inverse of f of x is x plus 2 divided by 3, which is C. So 21 is C right there. Cool. That one was fairly easy. 22, a lawn sprinkler located at the corner of a yard is rotated 90 degrees. So there's my 90 degrees. It's terrible. Sorry, you guys. let's see, what is the area of the lawn? So the sprinkler is going to sprinkle, 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 sprinkle. And we want to know the area of this sector of a circle. Now, let's see if we remember the equation. The area equals theta. Remember, your angle needs to be in radians times the radius squared divided by 2. So 90 degrees in radians is pi over 2, right? So we have the area is equal to pi over 2 times the radius squared. Our radius was 30, so 30 squared is 900 all over 2. So let's see, what does that look like? That looks like 900 pi divided by 2. My numerator is going to be 450 pi over 2, which reduces down to 225 pi, which multiplies out to approximately, let's see, what did I get? 706.8 approximately, right? Feet squared. Okay, 706.8 feet squared. All you have to do is remember your formula and remember that it's in radians. Okay, now you could also, in this particular case, since that's 1/4 of a circle, find the area of the whole circle and divide it by 4. I'm not sure if that's going to be the case on the actual final, so don't memorize it that way. 23, which equation below corresponds to this graphing model? And really, you guys, the easiest way to do this is to put each of them into the graphing calculator. Oh, I don't have it here anymore. But just put each of them into the graphing calculator until you can find the one that it is. Or I know you guys have been super good at your transformations, and that should be fairly easy. We know it's going to be B. So 23 is B. Okay, just put them in and see what it looks like and you'll figure it out if you don't remember the translations. Okay, but I know you guys are really good at those. 24, let's see, 24. Which of the following inequalities? What? I went way past 24. You guys can tell I'm kind of in a hurry. Which of the following inequalities corresponds to the interval -2? And that's a bracket. Don't forget this bracket means that it does include 2, right? And then the other side has the parenthesis, which means not including. And that's really all you need to figure out. It does not include 1, but it does include -2. That's going to be D. Okay, 24 is going to be D. Cool. 25, solve the equation x squared minus 6x equals 4. You guys, what I did is I just set this equal to 0 and put it in the calculator. Minus 6x minus 4 equals 0. And I actually put it in the solver, in the quadratic solver, which does not give you radical form. It won't give you the square root of 13 or the square root of 5. But it gets you close enough that you can figure out what it is. And I did graph it also, which means that I could get kind of an idea of where it was going to be. It was going to be a little bit bigger than 5 and a little bit smaller than 0. When I put it into the quadratic solver, I got that x was equal to, let's see, what did I get here? Let me find my paper. I got x was equal to 6.60059. Let's see, 6.060555. 25, and I got x equal to negative 0.60551. And then you guys, what I did for this one, you could obviously use the quadratic formula if you want. I'm not trying, I just don't have that memorized like you guys have the song memorized. Then I just decided which one was the closest one to this by entering in the numbers into the calculator, and that turned out to be C. So 25 was equal to C. So please feel free to use the quadratic formula. That is going to be the easiest way. So what I just gave you is kind of a hack to use if you don't have the quadratic formula memorized, or if you want to double check yourselves on that one too. 25. Solve the equation x, oh wait, no, that's the one I just did. I'm sorry, that was C. 26. Actually, I'm going to stop this video in case there's not enough time, and I'm going to start a new video on this one.